Hello and welcome to a Boxing Insider special. This week we're at Wembley Stadium, just days out from Tyson Fury's mega fight against Dillian Whyte, a fight you can hear live and exclusive on TalkSport. Now, Team Whyte have remained quiet up until this point, but we've now spoken exclusively to Dean Whyte ahead of the biggest fight of Dillian's career on the 23rd of April. Now, before you watch this full exclusive interview with Dean, make sure you hit like and subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a thing. Dean, it's quite incredible. We're just a few days out from what is going to be a spectacular event here at Wembley Stadium. How excited are you about what's in store in the coming days?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a momentum occasion. Was it 94,000 we're led to believe? Sorry about the lead, but until we see it, it's believing what you see. So 94,000 people is going to be behind us, rearing, chomping, vying for Dillian Whyte or Tyson Fury. Or even both. Some don't even care, some said. I get those kind of messages. I just want a good fight. I like both boys, UK fighters, and they've done great for UK boxing. And it's starting to become a reality, you know what I mean? Dillian's waited over 1,600 days from the Helenius fight until now to get this mandatory shot. So, it's all to play for now.
And what is Dillian's mindset? You spent quite a lot of time with him in recent weeks out in Portugal. Mm-hmm. How's he feeling? Because publicly he's been silent, but I know he's been speaking a lot to you guys.
Yeah, do you know what? He's all right. He's jovial. He's obviously he's training hard, so it's the hurt business. You know what I mean? So what I will say is, as always though, to be honest, he always puts everything in. He's in tremendous shape. He's in great spirits. His birthday was yesterday. He's just cracking on. He's like, look, it's another day in the office, man. I'm going to keep working. Next week is showbiz, and I go and put it all on the line and try to make history, and become the WBC champion.
When you consider Dillian's journey, where he's been, what he's had to overcome, just how much do you think this means to him and the rest of the team that in a few days' time he'll be stepping out of Wembley fighting for a world title?
I think, when you look at Dillian's road, it's been a different path to Joshua's and many different, even Fury's road. Everyone's road's different. He's just a local man from Brixton who believed in himself. Had a team that believed in him, coming from Muay Thai, kickboxing, and having that belief, regardless, even from the loss from Joshua, having that belief, saying one day I'm going to be champion of the world, or I'm going to be fighting for the championship of the heavyweight, title of the world. To go through what he's done, having those two historic fights with Derek Chisora and then making it, definitive with that knockout. I think that was in the 9th round, I can't remember, but that was in itself was just something amazing, because Derek Chisora is a real strong man. And no one, I think only David Hayes probably done that to him, but not even in that fashion. You know what I mean? That was a proper flatline. And then when you think about the Povetkin fight, where people said he didn't need to take that fight, it was unnecessary. Why are you taking this fight? The Rivas fight, he went down. Why are you taking this fight? The Joseph Parker fight, you went down in the last round. Why are you doing this to yourself and us, Dillian Whyte? But the man, he said, listen, man, I'm here to entertain. I'm here to, bring these fights, and I'm here to just rewrite history for myself and my family and people. You know what I mean? So the journey's been long. Obviously, there was the shocking upset loss to Povetkin. And even after that, you saw his mindset. It's not a lot of people bounce back from those kind of knockouts to come back and definitively win a rematch. 9 times out of 10, if you lose in such emphatic fashion, you lose again the rematch. It's just normal. David Price is someone that springs to mind, and a few others have lost continuous after rematch. There's a few guys like Lennox Lewis who's made that redemption and come back. And Dillian was, after you saw the interview, he said, Eddie, I want the rematch. It was just literally
straight away, didn't he?
Straight away. And that's his mindset. That's a warrior's mindset, tough mindset of a guy that just wants to fight and, deliver. Win, lose or draw, he goes and puts it out on the line. And on Saturday, next Saturday, the 23rd of April, I don't think there's going to be no losers, especially for the boys, the demographic where we're coming from, the money they're making, the history they're going to, a historic occasion they're going to put on. There's no losers. You know what I mean? You change generational wealth both parties, you know, him being a traveller, he's done it, he says, many times and so on, and Dillian, you know, selling out the O2 and doing what he's done. But here, this is something big, being in 90,000, headlining, fighting for the title. And then, you know, so there's no real losers in this. But we are adamant, we have self-belief, and we believe he's got, you know, the toughness, the resilience, and the tenacity to go in there and do what he needs to do and get this victory.
When did you and Dillian and the rest of the team start believing that he could become world champion? Because it was quite incredible, the comeback after the Joshua defeat, and he changed so much behind the scenes, the way he lived his life following that defeat to Anthony Joshua. And then he went on that incredible streak, as you mentioned, some of those fights there, he took on everybody, and he beat everybody. And when he lost to Povetkin, he came back straight away and he beat him.
And emphatically, we must add. But yeah, do you know what? To be honest with you, I think it's been a journey. You know, I've been championing and saying this for a long time, and it goes back to, like, I think it was, could have been the second or third fight, could have been even the fourth, between second and fourth. And we used to go up and down. He fought in Hull a few times up north, and I always remember I used to say to people, "Oh, my bro, man, like, he's gonna be the champion, you know." Like, yeah. And people, good on ya. Who are you guys? Never heard of you, you know that. And I always remember that when we came at, he fought, and I say, "Yeah, my bro, man, he's gonna be the champion." And the guy was like, "Never heard of you." I wonder if this guy today, you know, remembers that conversation with me and Dillian outside, and we was walking off to the chicken shop. So it's in itself, that is something significant to me, because as much as we were young and we was coming up and we thought about it, it was more talking, like, you know, talk it into reality. And look, fast forward today, 2022, April the 23rd, he gets his shot at becoming the WBC linear world champion, and making history, man. And it's a great feeling, because it's been a very, very long road, turbulent, ups and downs, as just life is. The boxing's been the same with, you know, the 2 losses, but he's bounced back, like he said, in tremendous fashion. First being at Loughborough, and doing it all, being it all, and giving it and moving away, and then moving away to Portugal against everything that he wanted to do. You know what I mean? Leaving family and friends and not being able to have a little bit of a life and just live the life of an athlete. And he's done it. So, you know, next week, April the 23rd, God willing, it all comes together, and he shows the world what, you know, we already knew and we all believed, irrespective of losses. Because even in historic times, all the best have lost and come back and won titles. So, you know, let's see. But he's facing a great adversary in Tyson Fury, who's had a great career, you know, beat a lot of fighters, good fighters, you know, and done great in the trilogy fights he's had with Deontay Wilder. But Dillian's not Deontay Wilder. I know they talk about Deontay Wilder is a big puncher. I don't think he has the skill set what Dillian has, the punch selection, and he doesn't have that blatant disregard and ignorance, you know, that metal to just walk through fire. I shouldn't even say that, because in the trilogy he did show a lot, but yet again, you know, I don't think he was prepared to eat a shot, to deliver his shot, and Dillian sometimes does just that.
Let's talk about the build-up to this fight, because it's been slightly strange, because Tyson's been doing a lot of talking, Frank Warren's been doing a lot of talking, but Dillian's not said a single word. Why do you think he has decided to stay silent?
I think I've said it many times, the business side of this hasn't gone according to the ethics of just any business. Because when you have a business, 2 parties, for them to conduce business and have this commerce, there's a relationship and a common ground and respect for you to do that business. In this case, it was sort of like forced into signing, and from what I was told, there was going to be extra talks after, and it seems that wasn't held up until, you know, a gentleman's agreement. In boxing, sometimes it is that, a gentleman's agreement. You shake hands, or you just, you know, verbally say something, i.e. just even the ticket situation, for example. That's something I've never ever seen, that, you know, the fighter doesn't get tickets to sell to his own fans. And we're to believe that Tyson Fury sold 95,000 tickets all by himself, nothing to do with Dillian Whyte, you know. And, you know, hey, but look, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I can't be bothered to keep going around and drumming, but it's just a shame that these little things that have gone around that has hindered it. Because if you're smart, what you do is you treat the fighter with respect, and then what he plays ball. He does everything he can do to help the fight roll and, you know, make it go. And we have missed, you know, as a fan of boxing, we have missed a great press conference. You know, in these 2 verbal battles there, you know, the wit both guys has, Tyson Fury's tongue, is an acid tongue, and Dillian at the best is got these cracks. He comes up with like lean to these nuts. Oh, that is one of the fun I listen to. Cougar said, "Who did?" No, listen, that is gotta be. Listen, that is gonna go down in history. Him, he's such a nut job. You know, like his humour. And that's like Tyson Fury as well. So I mean, we have missed as fans, and it's a shame. And I think that's down to, you know, those guys, you know, not playing the ball, even with the amount of people with the economy Ryanair flight, free economy seats, ridiculous. Even the team he's allowed to bring, I'm hearing, is like 4 members of team. It's not normal. We're not used to this kind of strict movements, like, you know, and I've never seen it really. Even the smallest man, not the smallest man, like a lower level of fighter is allowed a bigger team. He has his cameraman, he has his physio, he has his team, he has maybe his brothers, you know, that relationship, his partner might be able to. And right now there's a lot of restriction, and I know, to be honest, Tyson Fury is probably going to have like hundreds of people because he has a big family and he normally goes with a lot of people. And so let's be somewhat respectful and have a bit of latitude and give Dillian the respect he deserves and give him something so he feels appreciated, so he wants to come to the party and deliver.
How much do you think this also comes down to the 80-20 split, which was prescribed by the WBC? I know that Dillian and the team are still trying to argue about that, but do you think it's more that, or is it more to do with how things have worked since then in terms of things like ticket allocation, in terms of playing for the press conference, etc.?
Well, to be honest, I think it's an accumulation. That in itself, I don't think hindered it, because he was actually coming to the press conference until this economy free flights, and then obviously when he flies in Matchroom, they normally tend to get him a private jet, and he comes in, and even if not, they might have the respect to give him even a BA flight, a business or whatever, and bring the team who he needs, and respectfully deal with him as a man first, a human being. And not continually talk about, oh, well, you're making 10 times. It's irrelevant. It's earned. It's not given. That was earned. Like, just by the names I've mentioned on the guys he fought to get to this position. They didn't willingly take this fight. They were forced into this by the WBC. You know what I mean? Tyson Fury was trying to go another route, as he mentioned many, many times prior to the fight being signed. And now we're led to believe that he wanted this fight. He was looking for Dillian, and now he's the chum and bum and all the other things he says. But look, you know, he makes for showbiz. He's good entertainment, and he's a hell of a fighter. And hopefully we're going to punch 7 bells out of him next Saturday.
What did you make of the exchange that took place on TalkSport a few weeks ago between Jeffrey Benz and Frank Warren? Because it's still something which everybody is talking about, a quite incredible moment in radio.
Do you know what? Yes, unseen. I've never seen a lawyer on a radio station going at it. And yes, I don't know, man. Look, it is what it is. Maybe he wanted to get his point across and get, people. Not a lot of people understand what's actually going on, and it's a shame, because Dillian's fans are, questioning Dillian's, his integrity. They're questioning, will he turn up? And it's never been in question before. And maybe some are upset, because he hasn't played his part, and they're saying, well, you're making a lot of money, you should do this. It's not really like that. It's when there's contracts and there's things that should be done in the grand scheme, and they're not being done and they're not being upheld. These guys are talking about, oh, it's only in the contract. There's not, everything doesn't need to be in the contract with boxing. There's just things happen with promoters. I'm even into promoting, so I know firsthand now that things, you do things just for the benefit of how it looks and how it might work out in the long term. And I'm not going to do something that's going to hinder my progression and what, I mean? So I wouldn't do something like that. Most small promoters rely on bums on ticket sales. Most shows rely on that. So, maybe obviously you cracked to deal with Ticketmaster, so, but all of these things are apparent and people are starting to get the gist of. And I think maybe the lawyer wanted to make his point, man. It didn't really come out as he wanted. And old Frank Warren, put pastor to him, was stuck it on him a little bit. Shame, eh?
You spoke there before about Dillian's relationship with his fans. Do you think that this may have affected his relationship? Because from the outside, people will see him earning a huge amount of money to fight at Wembley. And yes, he's earned that because of what he's done in recent years. But the fact he's not promoting the fight, the fact he's not talking about the fight, do you think that has maybe damaged that relationship that he does have with his supporters?
Do you know what? Some people are, saying, well, yeah, it's a shame you're making all this money, you should do your part, and so on and so forth. I hear that. there's an argument there for that, yes, but there's still contractual things that he wasn't happy with. So because of that, and because of the lack of respect, it's like, why am I going to help someone, do what they ask me to do if they're not prepared to play ball with me, in essence? And that's really what it is, I think. I'm not saying I would look at it like that. You know what I mean? I've not asked him, because I'm just looking at it from what I would feel. If I'm saying, well, if you're being disrespectful and you're not playing ball, why am I to play ball? I'll turn up and fight, which I'm contractually signed to do. All the other talking, like you said, I don't have to talk. That's, I'm a human being. I've got rights. If I want to talk, I talk. If I don't want to talk, I won't talk. And normally that's just a gentleman's agreement between you'll attend, you'll do your bit, you do this. So I think he put up that that the fight was made. So that's some form of PR. So in a contract obligation, or in fact, he has done somewhat of it. Maybe they're not happy with the amount he's done, but unfortunately, he's not happy with the amount of 0 tickets we had to get our fans in. So, and there's many other things. But this is me just thinking, because I've never asked him about it, but just a logical thinker, how I would think. And I always kind of look at the flip side on both sides. So just analysing it, I'm saying, well, I hear their argument, but I hear this argument, because I'd probably be stubborn enough to say, you know what, good luck, guys. I'm going to focus on training and I'll do my talking in the ring.
There are just a few days to go now. 94,000 fans are going to be at Wembley. There'll be millions watching across the world as well. Dillian will be arriving in London pretty soon. Absolutely. What do you think will happen next week? Will he attend the press conference? And if he does attend the press conference, do you expect there to be some sort of exchange between Tyson and Dillian, or will Dillian do what Deontay Wilder did before, stick the headphones on and not say a word?
You know what? Anything is open. I think anything is open. There's all possibility. I don't know. I don't know what his mindset's going to be. I don't know. From now to then is a long time. I'm sure there's probably continuing discussions or whatever. I don't, going on. So, the only thing we can do is wait and see. I would like to see a press conference, because I'm a boxing fan. I'd like to see that. But again, what you got to bear in mind, these things take a lot of energy. They're draining. And Tyson Fury seems to have all the time in the world to talking, like he's done for many years, talking and draining fighters and out talking them. So, it might be a good thing maybe not to clash with him. I don't know, it didn't really help Deontay Wilder. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. We don't know. You know what I mean? But as a boxing fan, I'd say I'd like to see that. I'd hope that Dillian doesn't want to waste energy going back and forth, say his bit and just leave it there and just do what he needs to do, and then just save his energy and make sure he's prepared for Saturday, April the 23rd.
Give us some insight into how Dillian's been looking in training. You've been out in Portugal with him. You were telling me he's training twice a day. He's obviously eating the right stuff. He's had the warm weather training. What sort of nick is he in at the moment?
He's in tremendous shape, man. I don't want to, go into it too much, but next week when we see the weigh-in, I think you'll see he's a big, strong lad anyway, and he's trained very, very hard, and it's just about it all coming together next week, and and everyone's seeing. But you got to stay tuned, man. He's in great shape. He's in a great mind space, and showbiz is next Saturday.
And finally, what do you think does happen on the 23rd of April? A lot of people think it's either going to be a Tyson victory by KO or points, or Dillian by knockout. But then I spoke to Conor Benn recently. He said that Dillian could win on points as well. So who knows what could happen?
Do you know, it's boxing. Anything is possible. But what I'd say is, as I don't know if we know or we don't know, obviously Tyson Fury and Warren's, they've done a great job angling everything in their favour. No British officials. They said the British board doesn't like them, so they've got, I don't know if they're neutral officials, they've just got a total different in board that's going to come. So I wouldn't see us getting a nod in points personally. So, we've got to see, but I think we are more looking potentially for a knockout. It's heavyweight boxing. The likelihood is when the big guys start laying clumps out of each other, someone's going to sleep. And what we know, Tyson Fury is not a big puncher, but it's cumulative, So Dillian just needs to set out his stool. If there's anyone going to get an emphatic knockout, it would probably be Dillian, as far as I'm concerned, and we're looking for that. But I think we're going to be in for a good fight. We've got someone who's skillful, can box, who's mixes it up. Since he's been with Sugar Hill, a man who switches southpaw, orthodox, and does things from different kind of angles. But I don't know, they keep talking about Chisora and he handled him easy. Dillian Whyte is not Chisora. I don't know what this thing is where people keep making this analogy and comparison. Maybe two black guys, kind of rough looking, kind of bit. I think that's where it really ends. If you saw Dillian box his head off in the last fight, I don't know, some people said they had him losing. I don't know how, because he was getting his head boxed off. But I mean, they've had two evenly kind of fights. Obviously, they're kind of the same height. When you fight someone the same height, it's a bit different when you fight someone a bit taller. We do know Tyson Fury's, 6'9"? The sparring partners have been equally 6'10", 6'9". So he's had big guys who, you know, have been mimicking and doing good stuff. But yet again, they're not Tyson Fury. But all they got to do is give a synopsis of that kind of style, a little breakdown, a little inkling, so he can adjust and make those movements, so he understands what he's got in front of him come next Saturday night. We don't know if Tyson Fury is going to come out southpaw. Obviously, he alluded to that online doing stuff. But yeah, again, could be all mind games. You know what I mean? He said he's going to walk forward and try and punch 7 bells out of Dillian. Yeah, again, it could be all mind games. We don't know. And he's not giving us his plan, and we sure ain't giving him any plan what we plan to do. But what we are doing is we're going to bring the thunder. Dillian's always going to bring it, you know what I mean?
Thanks for watching our exclusive interview with Dean Whyte. Make sure you leave a comment below and let us know what you made of that interview and whether you think Dillian will turn up for the press conference next week here in Wembley. Now, before you do anything else, make sure you hit like and subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of our coverage ahead of the fight. And that fight will be live on TalkSport on the 23rd of April. It's Tyson Fury taking on Dillian Whyte here at Wembley Stadium.